amazing gig up in Denver. And Denver's blue skies. We're kind of in a snow situation here in Colorado Springs. So we probably actually have more listeners today, you guys. So welcome to the Be Encouraged show. Frank Sinclair and I, we're actually celebrating our 1-year anniversary. Super excited about that. We're a dynamic team of business leadership experts and coaches who offer keynotes, emceeing, and facilitating interpersonal communication and leadership development to small to mid-sized businesses. We are based here in Colorado Springs, and our services are available both in the U.S. and international. So welcome to the Be Encouraged show, where we provide a platform for entrepreneurs and community-focused individuals to expand their reach and create a positive impact in the Colorado Springs community. We want to do a quick shout out for our current sponsors. Now that it's our 1-year anniversary, I'll just pause for a minute. We're really excited because we are now at a reach of 45,000 reach and growing a week, which is phenomenal. Really, and the message is all about it, bringing encouragement and hope to the world. So thank you for all of our listeners and supporters. Today's episode is brought to you by, have you heard of Joshua Aguirre and his company Crescio? They offer pay what you can consultations to underprivileged entrepreneurs in Colorado Springs and teach people how to leverage ChatGPT for their business. So visit them at Crescio.com to learn more. And of course, Pro Media, love them. Colorado Springs' leading service for professional video and photo content with an emphasis on sales process videos to convert your prospects into paying customers. So check them out at promediacolorado.com. So let's dive into our guest today. If you guys have your ringer on, if you wouldn't mind. I just heard someone's ringer. Okay.
It wasn't mine.
The guys were like,
I made sure to do that beforehand.
Awesome. Okay, so Mr. Brian Lucy, since you are our panel host, I just want to start with you first. So this is Brian Lucy. Let me introduce you. He is an almost 50-year resident of Colorado Springs. You don't even look 50.
I know.
Wow.
And I'm happy about that.
Yeah, you look fabulous, Brian. So he's been in real estate for more than 15 years, working with Castle Home Investment Team, and really enjoyed all the training that is available there. And of course, to my right here, Mr. Martin Huebner.
Yes,
He is a retired Marine. Thank you for your service. Turned farmer's insurance agent. He is an avid fly fishing family man with a passion for meeting new people. That's on my bucket list. I want to learn how to fly fish. That'll be fun. And of course, Miss Barb Stephens is in the house today. She's a sales manager at Brookdale Monument Valley Park. She has worked in the senior care industry, serving older adults and their families for over 30 years. Her greatest joy is helping families and older adults navigate the complex and confusing journey of senior living in hopes of returning some peace back into their lives, knowing their loved ones are safe and well loved.
Yes.
And Miss Lorelei. So Miss Lorelei McDaniel Broxson, Executive Director at Brookdale Monument Valley Park. She has been in the senior living industry for over 18 years. She's worked for Brookdale collectively for 17 years. She loves helping seniors and their families find solutions for their loved ones. And she also loves building great relationships and mentoring her associates. So welcome, you guys.
Welcome, everybody.
Super excited. And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, 2024.
2024.
We made it.
Yes. A lot of people feel that way.
Thank goodness.
Right?
Thank goodness.
Yes. So, Brian, let's start with you. So tell us a little bit about who Brian is, not on the professional level. We'll do that later, but just who are you?
Well, I'm Brian Lucy. I've lived in Colorado for almost 50 years. It'll be 50 years in March. Yeah. So, foodie. I love food. I'm an avid martial artist. I've been doing it for almost 35 years.
Do you
now.
practice here in?
Yes.
Which gym are you at? Here.
Independent.
It's not called a gym.
No.
A dojo.
Yeah. That's essentially what it is.
Okay, but it's not here.
No, it's down in Fountain.
Oh, okay.
But
nice.
it's a Krav Maga gym, whatever you would like to call it, whatever makes it easier.
Okay, awesome.
So and I've played pool, love dancing, love doing that.
Oh, that's my language.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
What kind of dancing are you into?
Mostly country, but I've started exploring doing bachata.
Oh yes, I'm learning bachata now too.
Yes,
That's a trip, huh?
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yes. Have you gone to the one at the principal's?
I have
there?
actually.
Yes.
The principal's office.
Yes, that's a lot of fun. There's one coming up.
Wild. Yes.
Yeah, at Ivy Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I love Manny, and he does great events.
I know. He's a great guy.
Fabulous. Yeah.
Him and Christian.
Yes.
So yeah.
That's awesome.
They've got a lot. It's a lot of fun.
How did you end up here in Colorado Springs?
I was born here.
Oh, so you're a native?
Yes.
Oh, okay. When it says almost, okay, so you're a native. Sorry. Usually the natives say I'm, a native.
I'm trying.
I got a bumper sticker to prove it.
I'm a native too, so I'm not gonna brag all day long about it.
Yes,
I
it's
got
a
no problem
thing, right?
bragging about it.
Yes.
I'm okay with it, except for all the newbies that are not sure how to drive in Colorado yet.
That's fine.
Yes. Yeah. And they don't know how to drive in the rain.
or the snow or the ice or
yeah. So how about you, Martin? Tell us a little bit about you. I mean, you're a Marine. My dad's a Marine, so
I'm not a native.
why not?
So I spent 18 years in the Marine Corps. Had to deal with some back stuff, so I got out. Took a retirement. I was stationed here for 2 years. And then I went to North Carolina, got tired of the bugs, humidity, hurricanes. Went through 3 hurricanes in 4.5 years, and the Rockies were looking real good. So I was born and raised in Roswell, New Mexico.
Oh, wow.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's fun, but it's not a fun place for me to live.
Is your family out there?
My family is.
Okay.
So we chose to come here because we're close enough to family.
Mm-hmm.
They can come and see my kids can see them.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So that was great. And then, like you said, I'm a fly fisherman, took that up recently.
Nice.
I spend most of my nights making flies, little tiny flies.
That's great.
That I hope to get out there and use. So.
Okay. So who taught you how to make flies for fly fishing?
I have a friend that does it, and he was tying them, so I was like, man, I can do this.
Yeah.
So I watch YouTube videos, Facebook groups.
That's awesome.
Things like that. It's my therapeutic release, I guess.
Right.
So,
right on. And how many kids do you have?
I have 2 kids. Okay. I have a 10-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old son.
Oh, nice. So they're still nice. You still love them, and they're adorable.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Yes.
Give it 3 or 4 years. It'll be fine.
I grew to really admire wine better when I got teens.
I have a decent whiskey collection for that.
Okay. Yes, perfect. No, that's awesome.
It's good. I have tons of hobbies.
Cool.
Take up my entire house. So.
Yeah. And
my wife's thrilled about that.
What does your wife do? Is she?
My wife works for Rocky Mountain Crisis Partners. So she's on the call center.
Oh,
so she spends
that's not easy.
Sunday through Thursday talking to people, just giving them a line, an avenue, some way to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Because some people just want to talk.
Good work.
So
Right.
not everything's a crisis. People just want to talk.
Right. They need to
develop
listen.
relationships. Yeah. So she does a great job. She's been doing that for 2 months, and she's just killing it. So
nice.
couldn't be more proud of her.
That's awesome. Well, I actually started in the call center out in California, and that's where I fell in love with customer service. I actually stayed there for 12 years, which is like unheard of for a call center.
Right.
But because I loved customer service so much, and when I understood the formula of diffusing a customer, and because that's all that would happen, they would get upset and they'd ask for a supervisor, like immediately. So I would just walk around with my headset and just plug into the team's phones and diffuse it real quick. And they're like, "How do you do that?" I'm like, you'll get it. Let's just
Stay here for 12 years.
Yeah. You'll learn. Exactly.
No.
So, Miss Lorelai,
Yes.
you're also an artist.
I am.
Okay, so
Yes.
let's unpack you, because
Okay.
you are a lot.
Do you have time?
I
Because it's
mean-
going to be a while.
So tell us a little bit about you, like where you're from,
Sure.
growing up, all that.
I can do that. So I'm originally from Pensacola, Florida, born and
Oh.
raised. And then we had a couple kids and flew the coop. My husband came home one day and said, "How would you like to go to Saudi Arabia?" And I said, "Sure." Never been out of my hometown.
Was he military?
He was with Boeing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we did it. Ended up staying there 10 years.
Wow.
I was one of
Like
on a compound. Like,
on a
yeah,
compound.
but this was many years ago.
Wow.
But it was a great family experience. We got to travel, and I was one of a couple of women that got to work while I was there. I was the compound manager for a while, and then a preschool teacher.
Oh,
So did a lot of traveling from there, and then the boys about to start high school. We wanted to come back home.
So you had your kids out there, or
Oh yeah.
you
Yeah.
birthed your kids in Saudi Arabia?
No. They were 3 and 5 when we left.
Oh, okay. So you
Yeah.
left Pensacola then,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
wow. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
so it was great.
You're a brave soul.
Adventure, right?
Oh, yes, total adventure.
But I didn't
This
know
makes
anything.
sense.
And I was like, sure, let's go.
Sure,
let's do
yeah.
that. You're like, no.
You're young and yeah.
Yeah. So came back, landed in Colorado, and went to work for senior living.
Yeah.
And fell in love with that. And then the boys graduated, went off to college, and my husband went back overseas to Abu Dhabi, Dubai. So I took a couple years and went back with him, and then came back to Colorado again and worked with hospice for a bit, and started my art while I was in Abu Dhabi because I didn't know who I was anymore.
Right.
Kids are gone. Yeah.
Empty nester, trying to figure that out.
Yeah. So, and that's my therapeutic, like you were talking about with your flies. Like, yeah, my art's just kind of it's intuitive and just kind of self-made with that. So.
It's so beautiful.
Thank
Well,
you.
tell our listeners about your art.
Oh my, where do I start? So my art, I don't have a plan when I start. I just I use whatever I have, paint, house paint, paper, and I just build layers upon layers. I drip and dribble, and eventually it becomes what it's supposed to become. So,
That is neat.
Yeah.
So it's like interpretive painting.
yeah, just
That's
intuitive,
cool.
and it takes me a long time most of the time because I can't just draw a face, right?
Right.
I can't decide. So I can't have somebody say, "Can you paint me a whatever, a landscape?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah. You're like, that's
I
your
can.
Yeah, my son can.
Your son can.
Yeah. So I go through spurts of it. Sometimes I'm all in, and sometimes I'm like, "Okay, I'm done for a bit." But yeah, I will have 2 grandkids. I can't leave.
Oh
them out.
yeah, the
Yeah.
grandbabies.
Sophie and Ben are.
And they're local here.
They're
Yes.
local, yeah.
Yeah.
They're local,
Marshall.
and they're the loves of my life. When you don't have grandkids, they will change your life, just like everybody
Yes.
says.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm not rushing into it. But
No.
I can wait.
But they call me Yaya.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fun. How did that come about?
Well, I wanted to be a Loli, because my grandma called me Loli.
Yeah.
And so I just thought, but I didn't. Ben, he was not a talker until he was almost 3, and that's what he came up with, and it stuck.
Okay.
And I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah. So that's me.
That's you. There's a way much more to you.
I know. What is she missing
It's a
that we
start.
need to
That's
know?
a start.
Well, the love of my life, 39 years. My
Yeah,
husband.
we're forever,
That's
man.
amazing. Yes.
Carrie.
That's very commendable.
Yes, it is.
It takes work. It wasn't always so easy.
Right. Uh-huh.
We've gotten there. So yeah.
So, what's your magic secret that you can tell the world that kept you guys still loving on each other after all these years?
Couple things. I think we were separated from with the job situation for a while, so we weren't. When he would come home, it was great, right? And then he'd leave again.
Yeah.
So that, and I think we just finally realized that not all the things we thought were an argument are important. Some of that stuff's just not, right? We just enjoy each other now. We don't sweat the small stuff. We just
Can you have a discussion with my parents about that?
Yeah,
Are they still stuck in that mode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except they've been married for 55 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Wow.
We might circle back around.
You
to that.
might.
Right,
No,
right,
hopefully
right.
not. I pray you
We'll
don't.
come back in 5 years and see where you are.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I mean, we sit on the back porch a lot and,
Yes, they do.
you know, have a glass of
Fire.
wine and
Yeah.
laugh. And life's short, you know, and
That's
there's a lot of
right.
people that don't get to where we're at. So
Right.
we just enjoy each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And Miss Barb, who are you?
Who am I?
Who is Barb?
She's very fun. I know.
I am very fun.
Good energy.
I am very fun. But little Barbie, born in, my whole family's from Rifle, Colorado, if you know where that is, little town. We've been there over 100 years. Grandparents born there, aunts, uncles, everybody born in Rifle. My sister and I had the privilege of being born out of Rifle. We were born in Denver. My mom was an x-ray tech and working and finishing school at Swedish Hospital. So I got to be born in Denver, which we were the only ones, the whole family, born in, not in Rifle. So spent a couple years there in Denver, moved back to Rifle, so raised in Rifle with, had a very privileged life being able to be raised by my grandparents, both sets of grandparents, all my aunts and uncles, all my cousins.
awesome.
We were all, you know, best
Big
friends.
family.
We lived out on my grandpa's ranch. We all built houses out there. And so every holiday was with my family, right? And cousins and
So
things.
cool.
And yeah, I think that was lucky. A lot of families don't get that
No.
privilege to really be raised around their family. So really kind of set the course for me and my family. Left Rifle, did get to college, and instead of finishing college, I took a break and had a child right in the middle of that session, unexpectedly. Wow, I guess I'm going to be a mom
Yes.
for a while, right?
That's how that works.
That's how that works. So retreated back to Rifle with my family for a couple years, and then finished college with a toddler in tow and working full time and kind of getting that done. So my daughter, who is the love of my life, because I don't have grandkids and I don't think she's going to give me one. She travels a lot, but she's almost 33, living in Denver with her significant other that we just adore and spend holidays with. She travels the world. She sees everything. She travels for work. She travels for play. Yeah, I think today they're on a plane to San Francisco, but she just spent 10 days in Iceland with her girlfriend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, spent 10 days there. And during COVID, they traveled for 3 months. Her and Adolphus went to Thailand and Spain and Portugal.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
So I just
I wanna
live
go there too.
vicariously through my child
Yes,
who gets
right?
to see the world.
Yes.
Does
But
she
she
ever
can tell
bring
you all the
with
good
her?
spots.
We traveled together. Yeah, we just went to Maui, the 5 of us, in June. I got to see Maui with Adolphus and his mama and my daughter and my husband. And so we're going to Maui or going to Kauai in May again. So yeah, we travel together. Not the big ones yet, not the big trips, but she is the love of my life. So barring that, I ended up in Denver in the senior community, right? I was nursing home social work for a long time. Because I'm outgoing and fun, I got recruited
Yes.
into sales for home health and hospice,
Yes.
right? Really loved that. And then ended up in senior living several years ago, many years
Yes.
ago. And just, that's a good niche for me. It's a fit for me. I love what we do. I love what the team does. I love helping families on this journey. And it's never the same when you're, you know,
Every day is different.
every day is different, right? So
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
So came to Colorado Springs. My husband was born and raised here in the Springs, so he is a native of the Springs.
Is his whole family here too, or?
They're all gone.
Okay.
I have
God.
the family, right?
Okay.
So we came back here about 6 years ago. He works at a mine up in Canyon City. He's a driller and a blaster, blows things up for
Tell
a
him
living.
about the gems.
He
and the
loves
stones.
that. Oh, and
my
our side
gosh.
business is mineral specimens. So my husband's been
So
collecting and
cool.
digging and finding for many years and worked at a couple mineral specimen mines in the United States. So we have piles and piles and boxes of beautiful rocks in our house.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
And my husband's like a 5-year-old. He'll still come home with rocks in his pockets. I'm like,
So cute.
stop it. Stop.
We need another box for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many rocks. He's like, wait, look. I'm like, oh Oh, geez. So one time a year, we sell there's a big show in Denver in April that we set up for 3 days and sell. Eventually, that's probably going to be our retirement, is selling mineral specimens, and there's different rock shows around the country. So we'll probably get into that circuit at some point in time. But yeah, that's fun. If you ever want any rocks, just I have rocks. Beyond that, I have zero fun things. I don't paint. I don't fish.
Aw.
I don't do puzzles.
You don't dance. You don't do
No,
anything like
I mean
that?
I do, but not formally like you guys do. But
I wouldn't call what I do formal.
yeah, well, we have a giant cat now. Like we just want to stay home and be cat parents is what we've
Aw.
decided with our big giant cat.
That is a big cat.
He's a big cat,
Oh my
20, almost
goodness.
20 pounds. Yeah.
She posted this picture of her cat on this
So
chair into the table.
Standing up into the
Yeah.
table. Yeah.
It's hilarious.
She's amazing. We love our cat. We're crazy cat people.
Yes.
Yeah. And then spend our days. We love to go 4-wheeling. We love to tool around out in the hills. Just geeking around, exploring our state, right? We've seen just about every nook and cranny
Yeah.
of this state since we're both from here. So yeah.
It never gets old though.
It
It's
doesn't
so
get old. It
beautiful.
really doesn't get old, and we still love to explore this state, and our goal is to travel and see as much of the rest of the world as we can.
I should ask you. So for Christmas, I finally got snowshoes.
Mhm.
So do you know of any good snowshoeing places?
There's a lot. There's really
Is
great
there a
ones on
lot?
the western slope is the best ones.
Yeah. So like on the way to
Yeah.
which
well,
was
through
there
Denver, you
certain
probably
ones?
need to go through Denver. Breckenridge has got some great ones.
Yeah, I was hoping not to go that far.
Yeah, I don't know
There's
the
nothing
local.
closer.
Yeah, I'm sure there are, but I don't
Okay.
know the local ones. We did most of that on the western slope
Yeah.
of things.
Okay, because we go tubing in Fraser, which is the best tubing hill
Yeah.
in the world.
It is good.
But I know there's some there. But
There's
I was
a
just
lot,
hoping
yeah.
if there's
No, I don't
since
know
you know
those
every
ones.
nick.
I hate winter. Being a Colorado native, I
Yeah.
know that's surprising.
That's why you need
I
snowshoes.
have snowshoes.
You are not
and you
the
don't
only
use
one.
them.
I grew up skiing. Nothing about winter except my new coat. That's the whole thing I like about winter is my brand new
It
coat.
looks snuggly.
It's so snuggly.
I love
Other
it.
than that, winter is not my friend.
You
I
walked
just
in and I was like,
wanna-
you go.
Yeah, well, you're not the only one that is not a fan of
I
winter.
hate it all.
yeah.
I need warm, I need sunshine, I need light.
Right.
Me too.
I'm the same.
me too.
I'm a Leo. I
Yeah.
need light
Yeah.
to move forward.
I agree. Well, that's why I think most of us are here is for the sun. right?
Yeah, yeah. Even when it's cold, you have the sun out. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why I got a Jeep too, though, so I could chase waterfalls and rivers and
Mhm,
lakes and
mhm.
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, because I do miss the ocean.
Oh,
Yeah, me too.
I
That-
love the ocean. That's
not hurricanes.
It's where I'm going to
No, not
be
hurricanes.
someday. Yeah.
I'm sure you have a lot of
I
stories.
do
too.
love
Oh my
the
God.
ocean.
Yeah. Okay, so Brian,
Yes.
we're going to go a little deeper here on.
Okay.
So the past 6 months in business, what has been something that you have had to overcome, and how did you do it?
It's just been. It's not necessarily the talking to people. I have no problem talking to people, but it's the helping people understand what, as part of my business, what I do and how I can help them. And it's just been, steadily talking to people, trying to get them to understand what I do and how I do it, and I would just talk to people. I mean, that's all it was. I've gotten a lot of education over the last 5 years from a friend of mine who is the real estate investor, not just in Colorado. He is the real estate investor throughout the United States.
Oh, awesome.
So
Do you work with him, or?
yeah, I do. I do work with him on occasion, but it's more of the education part of it that he provides for me.
So share with our listeners what you do exactly, because I just saw you present, so I know. But share with them a little bit, because it's a little different than what people are accustomed to.
It is. So I am a real estate investor here in Colorado Springs. I should say throughout Colorado, but I also specialize in working with private lenders. So these are people who want to get a return for their money, either like a 401k or an IRA, that type of thing, that are not getting it right now. They're going through the the market with money markets and CDs and whatever else that they're doing, and they're just not seeing a return. So what I do is I show them how that they can position themselves with either their 401k or IRA, whatever type of money that they've got, how they can use that money to earn a better interest rate, but through real estate without having to own it, manage it, deal with tenants and toilets and all that information. So it makes it a lot easier for people to understand because I've got a little presentation that I do.
Mm-hmm.
As you know.
Yes.
So
you rocked it at BetNet.
You know, I was still extremely nervous doing it, but
you're blooming though. I see it. This has been your year, and that's why it was a perfect question for you, because it is expanding. But so let me ask you this: if you have a couple, they're empty nesters, they have money sitting, like you said, in a 401k or whatever, they can come to you, and then you can just use that money to find
a property.
Like, so residential only, or a commercial strip mall if they want, or do you give them different options? What does that look like?
We can do both.
Okay.
I mainly do commercial or residential right now. I'm looking into doing commercial in the future. But if they have money that like I said, they're not getting return on, it makes it a lot easier, because the way I do it, I pay them a much higher percentage than they're getting right now. So it makes it a lot easier. They can get paid monthly on it, annually, every 6 months. You know, we can structure it however we need to.
Okay.
To make it work for them and for us.
Awesome. And then is it a done deal, or is it an ongoing where they're not landlords like you said or anything like that, but is it an ongoing thing, or is it just one transaction? They plunk their money in, they're good to go. How does that?
They can do it as an ongoing thing if they would like. What we usually do is we'll buy the property, fix it up, hold it for a while, and then once that transaction's done, we pay them back out, or however, if it's either monthly or annually.
Okay.
Or they can actually wait until the property just closes.
Yeah. And
then we can just pay them that way.
I think it's great what you do.
Yeah.
But not a lot of people know about it, like you said. And so back to what have you overcome, and the big hurdle, and that yours was communicating it out to the public at large. So how do you feel is the most effective way today that you're going to run in 2024?
Well, just like in BetNet, do a one-on-one.
Yep.
That's easier, because then it's not, you're not, the people that I'm talking to are not having to deal with distractions from a coffee shop or whatever, wherever we decide to have a one-on-one.
So getting the word out for them,
and then we'll sit there and talk. Like I said, I have a informal presentation that I use.
Yeah.
Show them how it works, how they get paid, how everything from beginning to end.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. That's super interesting.
Yes.
So Martin, Farmers Insurance.
Yes.
Out of all the insurance companies, I gotta ask you, why Farmers?
So, I mean, you knew me at my other job.
Yep.
I became referral partners with Rebecca Mankey.
Yeah.
From the Rebecca Mankey Farmers Agency.
Yeah.
And she was looking for new insurance professionals to join her. She's opening up her own agency, and myself and another agent came on by the name of Ash Alvarez. And we have the mission to become the best agency in the Springs.
Awesome.
We service all over Colorado.
When did you start?
I just started December 1st.
Okay, so new.
It's new to me.
So everything is a challenge right now. You got to absorb, right? Have you ever done
biggest,
insurance at all, or
no?
Okay.
I grew up with my grandpa doing insurance. My dad did insurance, so I
It's in the blood. You got this.
I understood the importance of it. So I've always had insurance, life insurance, coverage like that. So it's definitely an important thing. For most people, it's not fun, especially when you're sitting there looking at a whole bunch of numbers.
Right.
But I'm finding it very enjoyable.
Awesome.
So my biggest struggle would be talking to people on the phone because I like to be in person.
Right.
So I can sit there all day talking to people. I just love it.
So do you have to do a certain amount of calls? Is there? I'm sure there's a formula because it's farmers, right? So
I make a lot of
cookie
calls
cutter
right now.
formula.
So
Yeah.
we're pulling in leads, so we're getting people from all over Colorado.
Cool.
And so are 40, 50 other agencies.
Right.
So we're all competing with them. But once they get on the phone with us and see our personalities, we usually close them, get some new policies. So we're doing great.
Awesome.
We're going to be the top one in Colorado Springs.
Yay.
So
That's exciting. Well, congratulations on the new job.
thank you.
This is perfect timing for you coming on our show because now all these
Yes.
people know about you.
Need insurance.
Yes, and if you need insurance,
Yes.
and what's all the insurance that you provide?
We do almost everything. So we're property and casualty for individuals, commercial. Ash Alvarez, she sells life insurance as well. So we pretty much do anything. And Farmers has multiple companies under us that we can write. If people are struggling with their high interest rates, we have options.
Very cool.
It's getting tough.
Yeah.
Colorado in general, we're seeing
So
52%
Yeah, it is expensive.
increase on house renewals.
Wow.
So
I just had to change because of that.
Oh.
it's getting expensive, but the
Oh,
thing that Farmers does is we're #1 customer service, claim service for 2 years running now. So
The claims experience is a big deal.
Yes,
it is.
That, yeah.
Sometimes it's worth paying a little bit higher of a premium to get customer service.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I stayed with USAA for that reason because they were amazing with claims as well. All right, so Brookdale team, here
Brookdale
we
team.
go.
Best Brookdale team.
Yes, the best. So Lorelei, since you've been at Brookdale the longest, why don't you share a little bit about the past 6 months, let's say, because I know it's been years, but the past 6 months, what's been? I mean, you guys, I'm sure have had to
It's getting
overcome a
harder.
lot with coming out of COVID.
Yeah, COVID
Things
changed
are-
a lot.
It changed a lot of people's mindsets in regards to senior living and all that. So what has been the biggest hurdle to overcome in the past 6 months, and how did you do it?
Well, I think for us specifically at Monument Valley Park, we experienced a lot of deaths right before the holidays. Usually it's during the holidays
Yeah.
that happens, but we had a huge amount. Some of them were on hospice, and that's the beauty too, is that we do try to keep our families in place and do end of life with the help of hospice. So that's hard in itself. Just we get attached to our families. So on the business side of that, it means you have empty rooms that you need to. Census goes down, and then your hours go down for staff, and you're worried about staffing. So that was challenging, just trying to close the back door with death. You can't, just God, please don't take anybody else to heaven,
Right.
but, so, and then we had a change. Our marketing person went to, Brookdale Skyline, got a promotion, so she left, so she's my answer.
Yes. She's your godsend,
She's
actually.
my answer
But for
too.
our community, it really is. I mean, we've got an older building, but we don't sell real estate. We sell care,
Yeah.
and we hire for heart, and we treat each other like family. We treat our staff really, really well. So that's the easy part for me, right? Building those relationships with staff and families, because they're going through a lot. Nobody moves into our community because it's on their bucket list.
Right.
There's always a need for it. So I think the last 6 months, it's really been census and overcoming, the deaths that we've faced. But Barb got 6 move-ins last month, so her first month.
We had
Congratulations.
Just me, it wasn't the team effort. Yeah.
But
That's awesome.
it really is about teamwork and building the trust of our families and staff. So
Right.
yeah.
Barb.
I'm just itching to speak here.
I know you are.
I mean, it's because I talk a lot anyway. But I think the beauty, and I've been in senior living for a long time, right? So I know the good, I know the bad, I know the ugly, I know the hard in this industry. I was just hoping and praying that I got to come to Monument Valley Park with the leadership of Lorelei, because like, in my opinion, she's the best in the business, right? She's been here so long. She's paying me for this interview later today. I have been just so blessed to be able to come here with her. You know, I represented a community prior to this, and though it looked beautiful, right, there on the back end, the care wasn't there. And right, that's all we do. We care for people. We care for older adults who can't live at home anymore, right, and need us to care for every minute of their day. And so for me to be able to join Lorelei and this team, you know, the leadership has created this longevity at Brookdale Monument Valley Park, right? And there's so much turnover. COVID destroyed senior living, right? It really was hard. It was hard for those of us working there. It was so hard for families. It was so hard for residents. It really changed how we do business, right? And so we, the leadership of the executive director in the building is such an important role, right? Because she has to create this family, this setting where staff want to come to work. And right now in senior living, they can go anywhere. They can be unhappy and don't want to come to work today, and they can literally go tomorrow and get hired at another community, right? Because we all need people, but not at Brookdale Monument Valley Park. Her staff have been there for so long. So I feel so good that when I'm sitting in front of a family and they're trying to make this decision of where does mom go next, right? And I'm terrified about senior living because you hear all the bad stuff, right, about senior living. I can really, really in my heart speak to this team and these caregivers and the longevity of the chef, right? He's been there forever. Our housekeeper's been there for 20 some years, right?
Tell our listeners, what are your services that you provide? Like what independent living, or what do you do?
Right, so we are assisted living and memory care. So if folks need help with dressing or bathing or, you know, meal prep, right, housekeeping, all of those things, our team builds this plan around each individual and what they need specifically and provide that care for them. That's assisted living. Memory support is very specific to those with dementia or Alzheimer's or other types of dementia, right, where they need safety and security and they need constant sort of direction in their day and structure, right? We have a team that is constantly keeping those folks busy in their day because their day is better if it's more structured and it's better. So we serve folks from assisted living through memory care in that spectrum.
Awesome.
Smaller building, not a huge building, right? I love the
You're right
size
here.
We're in town.
Yeah, right in town.
So in
Colorado
town.
It's a little
Springs.
castle.
It's a little castle, yeah.
Well, when you said you were there, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's perfect.
Right there, we're
in
right
your backyard.
here. Yeah, I'm just so grateful to be there. I really feel good about what we do and how we care for people.
It can't just be one person, right? It takes the whole team.
The whole team.
The team makes me look good.
Yes. Well, I gotta ask this because Lorelei, I heard about your morning huddles and how you start your team out. Are you still doing that?
Yes.
Okay, tell our listeners
Okay,
because this is amazing leadership here.
It is.
Okay, tell them how you do this.
We do several different things.
Yeah.
You haven't experienced. So sometimes we dance. I make everybody stand up. And they hate it, but
I love it. It's a love-hate thing.
It's a love-hate thing. Yeah.
So you stand up and then you close your eyes. You take a deep breath in and you take a deep breath out, or inhale all the goodness, exhale all the bad. And then I have somebody with a music on their phone, and then they press the button, and everybody turns around, right? And they close their eyes, and you say, "Now I want you to dance like no one's watching, because no one's watching." And you just dance it out. Sometimes we do.
Good.
I have cards with questions on them, or a word of the day.
Word of the day.
Just to
That's
break
so
it up a little
great.
bit, something.
Because you don't know what people entering the building have gone through just
Exactly.
to
They
get
got
there,
their
right?
And it's the start of the day.
It's
right?
the start of the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
You got to get all that off,
Yeah.
and I just love that.
Oh,
Thank you for
It's
doing
fun.
that.
Yeah.
Because that bleeds over to our seniors,
Absolutely,
and I just
it
love our
does.
seniors
Yeah.
too. That's close to my heart. So
It sure does.
awesome. Okay, now's the fun part. You ready for this, Brian?
Sure. I'm ready for almost anything.
Okay, so I need you to say the whole show is based off infusing hope and bringing encouragement to our listeners. That's how we got as big as we got. So, what is one thing you would like to tell the world that is encouraging. And then at the end, if you can give your contact information, how they can reach you for your services.
Okay. Probably the biggest thing is love.
That was my answer.
Well, I'm sorry I took your answer, but now it's mine. Love everybody. I mean, we're people. Help somebody that needs help. I mean, when we were talking at VetNet, that's my biggest thing. I mean, with people that are going through foreclosure, these are our friends, our families, our loved ones. We need to help these people. They deserve to be helped.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's awesome.
Love it.
Yeah.
How can we reach you?
719-201-5889, or you can email me at brianlucy, Lucy, at comcast.net.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Martin.
I would say relationship building. That's key, especially with everything that we went through. We talked a lot about COVID. COVID actually separated people.
Yeah.
And took them away from each other, and we're finally getting back to it. Yeah. And it's just, you just got to care about people around you.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of things we've been missing in life, in places we go, you just see people wandering around in life. They don't care about anybody else except for themselves. We got to break that mentality and start building relationships. So Colorado Springs is the big city with the little city feel.
Yeah.
We should all be one, like, tight-knit community. So
That's awesome.
that's how it is. So
how can they reach you?
The best way to reach me is over the phone, 719-653-0005. And I will talk to anybody. So
Awesome.
let's make insurance not so scary.
Yes, exactly.
It's not so bad.
Thank you, Martin. Miss Lorelai.
Well,
This should be so simple for you.
I have a couple of things that I say and stand up every day. It's a good day to have a good day, and be curious, not judgmental. I think that's so important because it's so easy to immediately go there, right? Instead of asking the questions and trying to dig a little deeper. So keep shining.
Keep shining.
Keep shining.
Yeah.
And how can we reach you?
719-930-8200 or L Broxson, BROXSON at brookdale.com.
Awesome.
My turn.
Miss Barb.
Y'all took mine.
So we're sorry.
Because I think love and connection, all of those things are so important. I think right now compassion is paramount for us. When I see families that are coming in, I don't know what their life has been for the 50, 60, 70 years before they come to my door, right? And so just listening to one another, having compassion for that experience and where they are in that moment, and just listening, giving them space to share what they've been through, how they got there, and what's getting harder for them, right? And how then we get to help that. So I think just really loving on people and creating those relationships and building that trust, and then just having compassion, meeting them where they are, right?
Yes.
Don't give any judgments to where they are, just meeting them right there in that space, and then helping them through the hard stuff, because there's some hard stuff. So good words, everybody. My contact, I'm going to give you my direct cell, 719-828-3635. And my email is bstevens6. That's B Stevens, STEPHENS 6 at brookdale.com. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. So before we close out real quick, we will be back. We're just going to do a quick intermission. Just a quick shout out for my Business Connect event. It is karaoke at Buzz Crow off Palmer Park in Powers. It's coming up on the third Thursday of this month on the 18th from 6 to 8:30 p.m. So mark your calendars if you're looking for an out-of-the-box networking connection for other entrepreneurs. That's your moment. Bring your artwork, maybe. Bring, something.
What if we don't sing?
I don't sing, but I have fun.
Oh, okay.
I You'll have fun. Just sit next to me.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you everyone for coming and listening, and we will be back in just a few moments. Thank you. So we're very excited to announce that the Be Encouraged Show with Frank and Lisa is now reaching over 30,000 listeners each week and growing.
And growing.
Why
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic to personal traumas such as my mom's suicide attempts, I know life's hurdles. That's why Crescio's mission is to empower the underprivileged right here in Colorado Springs. Are you struggling with sales? We'll help with leads and conversions. Or are you overwhelmed? We'll help with automating your tasks and optimizing your business for staffing. Are you ready to transform? Scan today to start.
So we're very excited to announce that the Be Encouraged Show with Frank and Lisa is now reaching over 30,000 listeners each week and growing.
And growing.
Why
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic to personal traumas such as my mom's suicide attempts, I know life's hurdles. That's why Crescio's mission is to empower the underprivileged right here in Colorado Springs. Are you struggling with sales? We'll help with leads and conversions. Or are you overwhelmed? We'll help with automating your tasks and optimizing your business for staffing. Are you ready to transform? Scan today to start.
So we're very excited to announce that the Be Encouraged Show with Frank and Lisa is now reaching over 30,000 listeners each week and growing.
And growing.
Why
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic to personal traumas such as my mom's suicide attempts, I know life's hurdles. That's why Crescio's mission is to empower the underprivileged right here in Colorado Springs. Are you struggling with sales? We'll help with leads and conversions. Or are you overwhelmed? We'll help with automating your tasks and optimizing your business for staffing. Are you ready to transform? Scan today to start.
So we're very excited to announce that the Be Encouraged Show with Frank and Lisa is now reaching over 30,000 listeners each week and growing.
And growing.
Why
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic to personal traumas such as my mom's suicide attempts, I know life's hurdles. That's why Crescio's mission is to empower the underprivileged right here in Colorado Springs. Are you struggling with sales? We'll help with leads and conversions. Or are you overwhelmed? We'll help with automating your tasks and optimizing your business for staffing. Are you ready to transform? Scan today to start.
So we're very excited to announce that the Be Encouraged Show with Frank and Lisa is now reaching over 30,000 listeners each week and growing.
And growing.
Why
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic to personal traumas such as my mom's suicide attempts, I know life's hurdles. That's why Crescio's mission is to empower the underprivileged right here in Colorado Springs. Are you struggling with sales? We'll help with leads and conversions. Or are you overwhelmed? We'll help with automating your tasks and optimizing your business for staffing. Are you ready to transform? Scan today to start.
So we're very excited to announce that the Be Encouraged Show with Frank and Lisa is now reaching over 30,000 listeners each week and growing.
And growing.
Why
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic to personal traumas such as my mom's suicide attempts, I know life's hurdles. That's why Crescio's mission is to empower the underprivileged right here in Colorado Springs. Are you struggling with sales? We'll help with leads and conversions. Or are you overwhelmed? We'll help with automating your tasks and optimizing your business for staffing. Are you ready to transform? Scan today to start.
So we're very excited to announce that the Be Encouraged Show with Frank and Lisa is now reaching over 30,000 listeners each week and growing.
And growing.
Why
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic to personal traumas such as my mom's suicide attempts, I know life's hurdles. That's why Crescio's mission is to empower the underprivileged right here in Colorado Springs. Are you struggling with sales? We'll help with leads and conversions. Or are you overwhelmed? We'll help with automating your tasks and optimizing your business for staffing. Are you ready to transform? Scan today to start.
So we're very excited to announce that the Be Encouraged show with Frank and Lisa is now reaching over 30,000 listeners each week and growing.
And growing.
Why should
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Be Encouraged show with Frank and Lisa. Oh, you got to jump off the page. Sorry, we have an echo. Excuse us. There you go. It's okay. That's happened to me before. I'm like, where's that noise coming from? And it was my phone. I'm like, oh, great. Anyway, welcome back to the Be Encouraged show with Frank and Lisa. We are celebrating our 1-year anniversary for our show this month. Yay. And actually, Jean, I think last January you were on our show,
yeah,
right?
I think it was almost exactly a year ago. I want to say it was January 12th or something.
Yeah,
that date
right
in my
early
head.
on,
Yeah.
when we were just starting. That was when we were at the other location, and yeah, that was we were pretty cool. So anyway, welcome back. We have some amazing guests, and Frank Sinclair sends his love. He could not be here today. He had to swing up to Denver, making a lot of money. So, no one says no to the money. So, And you can check us out at beencouraged.net if you're interested in sponsorships. That is how we float this show, and our whole message is about infusing encouragement and hope throughout the whole world. So check us out at beencouraged.net. And let's jump in. So our panel host, the beautiful, for those of you who may not know her, like the two of you, Miss Jean Walton is our panel host today. She is a local entrepreneur in the Colorado Springs community. Her mission is to empower women to believe in themselves. I love that. And Miss Charlene Harrison is the owner of Apricot Lane Boutique, the perfect destination for women who are looking for a more personalized shopping experience.
Yes.
That's up north, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Off of Bass Pro.
Yes. And Miss Nikki Bodine.
Nailed it.
Okay. She's a nurse practitioner at the Skin Click. Okay, the Skin Click.
Click though, it sounds fancy.
Yeah. Well, I speak French, so I'm like, wait, that looks French. So at the Skin Click Concierge Aesthetics, providing medical grade skincare. Where is that located at?
It is nationwide, so we're a remote company.
Oh, you're remote. Okay, cool. Yeah, because I'm like, I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Miss Karen Fernandez is in the house. She is the owner of Karen Fernandez Therapeutic Massage and Body Works and Coaching with Karen.
Thank you.
Awesome.
It's great to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so Miss Jean, you know how this works. You've been here before. It's been a year, but here we go. And now you know you're on live video.
Yes.
I love your lipstick. It's
Thank
popping with your star earrings.
Yeah, always representing the pink and the stars.
Yes.
For my brand. I was so nervous the other time that I came,
Right.
I was so out of my comfort zone, and now I've done this sort of thing so many times. I'm like, I'm so excited I get to have a fun conversation.
Well,
So-
and you have so many new things happening, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But for now, tell us a little bit, tell all our listeners, we're now at 45,000 and growing each week.
Wow.
So we have a lot of people who are going to listen to you. So you're going to unpack. Who is Miss Jean?
Well, so the last time
Growing up.
The last time I was here.
And how long do we have?
Yeah.
I know how to shorten it up.
Yeah.
The last time I was here, I was just getting ready to open my event studio.
Yeah.
And I remember announcing that, but I was already doing unique events with partnerships with other small businesses, and actually I've done several with Charlene at her boutique. So
Hold on, pause. We're doing this later. So
no, but
tell
so
us about Miss Jean.
Oh, so tell you why I'm doing this?
No,
That's
who
true.
you are as a human.
So I grew up
where you're raised.
I grew up in Rapid City, South Dakota. Small town girl in the middle of a large Catholic family. I'm right in the middle, and so I was pretty shy growing up.
How many kids?
There's 10 kids. I have 5 brothers and 4 sisters.
Wow.
And so I was right in the middle at number 6, and so I was pretty shy in the middle of that family. And I grew up in a family that's really creative artistically and musically.
Oh.
And I just didn't feel like I got much of that. I feel like I can't draw, and I can sing, but I don't play an instrument. I played the saxophone growing up, but not very well. And my family had a band, and so I always felt like I was kind of in the background, and I didn't get all that talent, and so I never really believed in myself. And so, but I always enjoyed community events. And my mom was really, really good about taking us, because we didn't have a lot of money. A great big family like that doesn't have a lot of money. So she was really good at finding fun events in the community. And that kind of inspired my sense of wanting to do that. I'm a former military spouse moving around. So I always had to create that sense of community everywhere I went.
Air Force?
Yeah, Air Force. And we lived in Florida. We lived in England before Colorado. And so I've had to recreate those friendships.
How long were you in England?
We were in England for 4.5 years.
Wow.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
And I'm an explorer.
I'm an avid tea snob.
I'm an explorer by nature. And so that's where the adventure mentality kind of came in as well, because I would always make everything an adventure.
Yes.
Anything can be an adventure. And I don't know where it came from.
And you like the rain, from what I remember you saying, right?
What's that?
You loved the rain.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because when I was moving over there, people were like, oh, it rains all the time. And I'm like, well, I had lived in Seattle when I was in my early 20s, and I was like, drizzle doesn't bother me. And I actually love the way that streets sparkle after the rain, and it's in the evening, and gives it kind of this magical feeling. So I am a romantic at heart.
I love that.
And I always have had this ability to find the positive in any situation, even when it's a challenging moment and it's a rough day, and you're like, you know, I'm really going through these things. But for some reason, I've always been able to pull out that silver lining and positivity and be like, okay, well, what is this teaching me? Or what's going to come out of it? And what's this aligning me with? And so I don't allow myself to get down for too long. I do, just like everybody else. But I've always been really good about making it a good story, at the very least.
And the Air Force moved you here, right?
Yes, and I didn't even want to come here. So that's the funny thing. That's a funny part of my story, actually.
Yeah.
I wanted
Most of us don't when the Air Force just moves us.
Well, you know, I didn't want to be landlocked again.
Right.
So I love the sea. I love the ocean. I've traveled the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so Colorado is a little too close to South Dakota.
Oh, yeah.
So
is all your family still out there?
Most of them are.
Okay.
So what's good about that is it's close enough for us to be able to visit. My sisters just came. Actually, one of them lives in Florida,
wonderful.
and the other one that came lives in South Dakota.
Yeah.
And they came for New Year's, and
Very
we had
cool.
a girls' night out for New Year's Eve, and so that was really.
So
fun.
do your kids? I'm just curious. Do they know your big extended family? Do you go
yeah.
there?
Yeah, so we always spent all of our vacations when we lived in Florida and we lived in England going back to South Dakota.
Oh, good.
So now my family can come here and come visit.
Exactly. You're like, come to me.
Yeah, so now I can go on real vacations to other places.
Yes, exactly.
Because I live close enough for them to come and visit me. But yeah, no, they never got to live around family, but it's always been very important to me to make sure that we remained close with our family as we're as we go and visit them for special occasions whenever we can, and then they come here. So yeah, we're fairly close, and my kids love family too. So.
And both your parents?
My parents aren't together anymore. My dad lives in he does not live in England. He lives in Illinois, and my mom lives in South Dakota.
Okay.
So yeah, so we get to we don't get to see him as often, but he is Santa Claus. So he actually went to Santa school here in Colorado Springs. Interestingly enough, he signed up to be a Santa here, and so he used to go to Santa school every year. So he would come in the summer.
Do you have him at some of your events?
No, because he's
you need to
being
fly
Santa
him
Claus.
in.
I know, but
do a debut like beginning of December.
Well, so then like we joke, Christmas in July.
Yes.
So he wears his Santa shirt in the summer.
Does he have a real beard? And
stuff?
Yeah,
they curl it up and everything.
Oh my gosh, you gotta send me pictures.
Yeah, he's great.
Oh,
but
that's
he
too fun.
I think his main gig is in Chicago. So because he lives in Illinois, so he's busy for about 7 or 8 weeks during the Christmas season, and but being Santa's daughter, naturally brings me that adventure
and you
mentality.
have the giving spirit too. So, all right. So, Miss Charlene, tell us a little about who you are and growing up and how you got to Colorado Springs, all the good stuff.
Well,
unless you're a native. Are you a native?
I'm not.
Okay.
No, born and raised in San Francisco.
Oh, I'm from the Bay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All my family's still there. Went back 1 year to say hi to all my family because we moved here. We're the only ones that have left California. And just us cousins, we filled up a park. There's 200 of us.
Wow, huge family.
Huge, yeah. I'm half Filipino. So my son calls them. Yeah.
Do you make chicken adobo?
I make it
all. Oh my gosh. I need to come to one of your potlucks.
Yes. That's what we do during the holidays. I make pancit and adobo and lumpia and all that.
Yes, girl.
It's nice. Just
if you ever need a plus one.
Yeah. We came to Colorado because we were outgrowing California. We wanted a more smaller field.
You and your husband?
Husband and 3 kids.
Okay, wonderful. How old are they now?
32, 30, and 18.
No way. Wow.
Yeah. And my son got in an accident.
Oh.
He was a Marine. Full-time student at Denver at Metro State. Got in an accident, got a bullet through the head. I was a real estate agent, full-time, but I couldn't be. After that, I was his caretaker, and then we had to put him in a facility because he was 6'4", he was hard to take care of.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, now what? So we'll pray here.
How old was he at the time when this happened?
He was 24. He's
Oh
not
my
30.
goodness, I'm so sorry. Is he still with you?
No, he's still in a facility. He lives through it, and he was a miracle. All the doctors and nurses said he was a miracle. So,
wait, was it a car accident or?
It was a bullet through the head.
In war or?
It was under investigation. There's not a lot of answers.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, he lived.
Yeah, which is great.
Yes.
Does he have family or?
Yeah, he has a mom.
So he wasn't married with kids or anything? He wasn't married at the time?
He was engaged.
Okay.
And then she moved to Wyoming after the accident.
Yeah.
Because she was in the room and there was gunpowder in her hands. And then she went to Wyoming for some reason. It was inconclusive. The investigation was.
That is a very rough thing to go through.
It was.
Were you local at the time with him?
Well, we were living here in Colorado Springs. He was going to Metro State in Denver. And so we drove up there and we went to we stayed in Craig Hospital for 6 months. He had to relearn how to eat, how to talk, how to walk, how to do everything.
He recognizes you.
Well, and that's the thing, because the brain is an amazing organ.
Yes.
And when he was in a coma, the doctors had told us, we don't know what he's going to do when he wakes up. We don't know if he's going to know you. We don't know anything. The fact that if a bullet goes through one hemisphere of your brain, that's bad.
Yeah.
But it went through two, and they said because it went through two, we don't know.
Yeah.
It's a miracle that he's even alive.
Yeah.
We don't know what he's going to look like when he wakes up. So we were bracing ourselves. When he finally woke up out of his coma, and those nurses were amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do what they do, but they did an amazing job. They pulled him out of his coma. They kept pinching his whole chest. His whole chest was black and blue. They kept pinching him out. After
He's
two,
like, stop.
well, if they didn't pull him out of his coma, they don't know what would have happened.
What a great idea.
To
I would
pull him
never,
out?
to pinch like that.
It hurt me. I couldn't watch it.
Right.
But, it did. He would come out.
Because that would make him want to say, stop it. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and he can't.
And they saved his life.
Yes.
I can't imagine being a nurse.
Right.
Yeah, they're amazing at their job.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that. That's, oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. Again, it was a miracle. God saved him. And, what's amazing is he came out of his coma knowing all of us, and all of his memories were intact.
Wow.
Which was amazing. I mean, he remembers. So he is aware, of who he used to be. And so he has days where he's really down because he can't do what he used to do. He was 6 months from his bachelor's degree. And he was smart. He was in accounting. And I tell him all the time, there's a reason, there's a purpose. He was saved for a purpose. Otherwise, he would have gone. So I keep telling him, you have a purpose. And all of us do, right?
Yes, that's
We
right.
all do. That's why we're still living, walking, breathing.
Yes.
Because there's still people out there that we're going to touch, that we're going to, encourage.
Yes,
Right?
exactly.
So, sorry, I get emotional
No,
sometimes
that's
I talk
okay.
about it all the time. But yes, he has those days because his memories are intact. Because he was a runner and he won races.
Can he run now, or what is
not like he used to?
Okay.
He has the capacity of a 12-year-old now.
Okay. But he can walk and
He can walk and talk and eat and everything, which is amazing.
excuse me.
But I couldn't go back to real estate because I am his number one guardian. I still make all of his decisions, and oh my goodness, sometimes, anyways, not going to go there. But I needed something a little bit more stable, and so I opened up the boutique. So now my customers come to me instead of me chasing them down.
That's fabulous. I love that.
And I get to dress people, which is so much fun.
And you're still married to the same man?
Yeah.
Okay. How many years?
Miracle.
That's a miracle. I'm just
too,
saying.
because
That's like two big miracles in your
It's
life.
huge. It's huge because that kind of trauma
Yes.
in a family.
It's
I mean,
a lot.
we were so broken.
Yeah.
It was incredible, but yeah, we made it through that.
How many years have you been married?
20.
Wow. So tell our listeners, what's that one nugget that has been amazing for you guys, keeping you together?
God. It's the only glue that I can think of because everything else, we're opposites. He likes rock. I like easy listening. He likes to party. I'm like, give me a book. I'm good.
Yeah.
He likes to, go down a big hill. Have you ever heard of that? On the snow, they go down a
mobiles?
hill with two little sticks. Yeah, they go down the
skiing.
Yeah, with two little sticks. I'm like, what sense does that make?
I
He likes to
know.
do that. And I'm like, no, I'm good. Give me a book.
I was just up by Breckenridge and I saw they have the mobile. I've never seen a mobile hill except for on TV, but I saw it in person that's the big chunks of hills. Like literally, it was like two all the way down the hill. And they purposely talk about skiing. I mean, they're going down full speed like a hill like this, going around the moguls, I think it is, or whatever. Anyway, I am not a skier.
I'm not a
but-
skier either.
Miss Nikki.
Hi.
Hello. So, are you a native?
I am not.
Okay.
I'm not. I am from Florida. I was born and raised in South Florida.
Oh.
And then I got my bachelor's degree from the University of Florida, so North Florida.
Yeah.
And then during that time, I'm married to my high school sweetheart.
Oh.
So he went and joined the military. So we were separated for a long time just because of military and school.
Yes.
And then we've moved around a lot in the last 14 years. So
Is he Army? Okay.
Yep. So this is actually our second time in Colorado. It is what I consider home. My family hates when I say that because Florida is home and my family is there and I love them, but
I can't stand
this
Florida
place has
weather.
my heart.
No, the weather is so sticky.
Yeah, that's a good word. Yeah, it is sticky. That's a really good word.
Well, I grew
especially
up
when it's
between
college.
California and Hawaii, so I'm kind of a beach snob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do miss being near the ocean. We've lived in Maryland too, which we were by the bay there, and that was wonderful. That was actually during COVID, and our boat is, I'm pretty sure, saved our sanity.
Nice.
Because we weren't allowed to do anything.
Right.
So we went on our boat all the time.
Oh,
But yeah, this is the second time we've lived here. We lived here from 2015 to 2018, and then we just moved back just over a year ago.
you need to come to VetNet. Have you
Sure.
heard of our networking group, VetNet? Because we look for military spouses.
Oh,
and
yeah. No, I
so,
haven't heard of it.
Yeah, and then military business owners. So it's
Yeah.
Tuesday mornings, 8:30
Okay.
to 10. It's right off. I'll give you the address afterwards, but yeah, you need to come.
Okay, I would love that.
So what else about you?
So I have a 2-year-old daughter, and she is sassy and wild and smart and keeps me on my toes, and I love her.
Yeah, she should.
I actually had a parent-teacher conference with her daycare teacher today, which makes me laugh. But she said she's going to be a leader someday. I'm like, I just hope it's a good leader.
Is she a March baby?
So like when she was born in September.
Okay.
So she's
All
just
right.
over 2, yeah. So she's very smart.
My oldest is a March baby, and March babies are very, very strong.
Are they?
Leaders.
I'm a
Yes.
March baby.
Are you a March baby? You're a strong.
I know a lot of March
I
people.
respect March people. Yes. No, she's my wild stallion, but she's
No.
total leader.
Yeah, I feel like Olivia's gonna be a wild stallion for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. So
You gotta have one. So now you have to have more kids. Just
that's
so
the
you know.
hope. Just one
Yes.
more.
Just
I
one more.
can't be
please.
outnumbered.
It'll balance your sanity when she's a teenager. Trust me.
Yeah, I actually just told my husband yesterday because she was just hanging out and playing by herself, and she was playing with my best friend's daughter, and I said we just got to this point where she's semi-independent, and we're gonna try to start all over right now.
Yeah. Well, she'll help you change diapers, and it gets easier.
She'll probably boss me around.
Yes. She'll tell you how to do it right. Yes.
She will. But yeah, we have a 2-year-old daughter. I was an emergency room nurse first, and I thought I wanted to be an ER nurse practitioner. I had my heart set on it. And I changed to primary care because I saw so many people coming in with conditions that should have been controlled correctly. And then they weren't, so they ended up in the emergency room. So I switched and I became a family nurse practitioner. So I'm a primary care provider by trade. That is where my heart is. I love taking care of people. But COVID and our last duty station where I worked just completely burnt me out. And you know what Sunday scaries are?
No.
I feel like that's a well-known thing, but I've asked multiple people and it's not. Maybe it's a me thing. Sunday scaries, where you just kind of get down and grumpy on Sunday because you have to go to work on Monday.
Oh, yes.
So, but it
I
became
know what it is now.
Yes,
I get that.
I know, Sunday scaries. But it became like an everyday scary because I just would get grumpy because I just was tired and burnt out, and I knew that was not the care that my patients deserved.
Yeah.
So I made a total career switch, and I now work in the pain management clinic on Fort Carson with the active duty population.
Oh, wonderful.
So that was a huge change because that is a specialty niche, which is not something that I ever did. And then I ventured down a whole nother avenue again and joined the skin clinic. So I work full-time in pain management, and then I also work part-time for the skin clinic.
I know Fort Carson very well. I've been there a lot of times with
Yeah.
me and the kids. I was the Air Force wife, so medical area, I know it well.
So you know.
Oh yeah, I
enjoy
love
it.
it though. I think the service is great there. I never had any problems. It's been great, and I've
I've
been here for
definitely
10
worked
years
at worse
now.
places. So,
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Evans has been pretty good so far.
Yes, I think it's a great hospital, and their
Yeah.
food is actually delicious.
This is completely unrelated to what we're talking about, but I went there the other day. I didn't have anything to eat for lunch, and I went to the DPAC, which is where you get lunch on the military hospital. And the chief nurse, and we're going to get chicken nuggets one day. And I said, where did you get those? So I went down, I got a salad, and I just wanted to throw some protein in. I brought 5 chicken nuggets to check out, and she said, $1.
Yeah, it's dirt cheap.
$1.
It's dirt cheap. I used to always eat there, and whenever my kids, again, I've been in and out of there for surgeries and stuff. But
yeah, and it's usually pretty good food.
It's very good food. Yeah, which is wonderful. I gauge every experience by food. So the quality of the food, I'm a total
That's how I
fan.
plan my vacations.
Yes.
Is based around food.
Right? Yeah. Actually, we were stationed at Vandenberg Air Force Base out in Santa Barbara County when I had Brooklyn, and it was in San Luis Obispo, and there was 2 hospitals to choose from, and they're like, okay, well, and I'm like, well, which one has the best food? And they said, oh, well, this one will actually give the couple, the parents, the new parents, a whole steak and lobster meal afterwards. I'm like, oh, done. I want that hospital. And it was good. They did that. It was phenomenal. But
awesome.
yeah, that's California for you. So,
I'm really excited to be here.
Karen, are you from here? Or?
No, I'm from New Jersey. I actually just relocated here in May. So I did live in Colorado in the year 2000. I went to massage school up in Summit County. I lived in Silverthorne. I went to school in Frisco.
Oh, nice.
But I was born in New Jersey. I'm the youngest of 6 kids. I always wanted to move back to Colorado, but I wasn't willing to leave my dad. He was an older father. Being the youngest of 6 kids, the same parents. He was 50 when I was born, and I lost my mom at 18. She had emphysema, but my mom was bipolar, so it was a little bit of a stormy childhood. But I loved my parents.
Bipolar is not easy.
Yeah, no, it's not. My poor mom. I have a lot more compassion for her now, being older and understanding a little bit more about it.
Did they know that she had bipolar at the time?
They didn't really know, and they didn't have good medications. It was more of a stigma even back then.
Yes.
And then they medicated her wrong, over medicated her. For years she was unmedicated, and it was tough growing up. But she had a really good side too. So there was a really loving side, and I was her baby, and she loved massages. So I feel like that kind of drew me into massage, because helping people out of pain is my life's passion. I found a great school. I specialize in pain management, chronic repetitive injuries. If someone's having a rotator cuff problem, I'll go into the axilla, which is also heart chakra work. So I'll work the costals, intercostals, ACL, PCL. I'll do psoas work, root chakra work. I'm a Reiki master. I do energetic.
Hold on, we'll get into this in a minute.
Yeah.
Stick with you.
Child to childhood. So growing up, well, that was a big part. So when I opened up my practice, I had a 15-year business in New Jersey, and and it was all built upon word of mouth. So it was really beautiful, because I always felt like I didn't fit in, like a misfit, like I didn't belong. I just had a lot of issues. Just getting into the right relationships. I think because I had a bipolar mom, I would end up dating dysfunctional people that would yell at me and think that was normal, and I had very low self-esteem, and then and I had some addictions when I was younger. Also, compulsive overeating disorders. I would gain 40 pounds in 2 months, and then it would take me another 2.5 months to exercise it off. And I was kind of going through that vicious cycle for 6 years of just gaining and losing weight. My highest weight was around 170.
How old were you?
I was from 26 to 32. So I kind of just stayed with my dad and missed out on opportunities to, I didn't date, I didn't put myself out there, that's the prime time people get married. So I just felt like an oddball, but I realized over time, and I had lost everything, and I lost my possessions in 3 separate floods. I, had addictions. I lost a lot of money. So for 13 years, I ended up sleeping on my massage table in my professional space, and just going home to my dad's house to shower. And it was interesting, because many of those years I felt like I would see people, my peers, I would think life was passing me by. I wasn't married. I didn't have kids. I didn't
the stigma of what you should be.
Yeah. And then when my dad passed away, my dad died at 95, so he did live a nice long life.
He did.
And but we all got COVID in 2021, not in 2020. So he made it all through 2020, and then we got it. And when he died, 6 days after he died, I had an epiphany. I felt like God was telling me I chose the right path, because I got another 18 years with my dad, you know, in my teens and early 20s, you know, you're more about yourself and your friends. And in my childhood, my dad was like my biggest, closest ally. Like he taught he coached my softball team. He would study with me. He would tuck me in. He was just my playmate. He was a great father. And, you know, and my siblings, a lot of them were older. So it was really just me and my dad, and my mom was there, but you know, it was volatile. So sometimes it was scary. And then I went into life, health, and bereavement coaching, and I found like another purpose. And I really do it that kind of just extended off of like helping people out of pain. And I did a lot of traveling after I went to Dubai by myself. I did a lot of things, and I'm actually part Filipino too. My mom was half Filipino and half Russian, and my dad was Portuguese. But so I realized that everything in my life happened the way it was supposed to. There's nothing I regret, whether it was like bad relationships or missed opportunities. It all gave me that great time with my father, and now here I am, and I was able to save money too, living that way. And here I am. I moved out. I'm living in the Front Range. I have a beautiful view of Pikes Peak. I love it. I'm right by the Garden of the Gods, so it's really. And I moved here sight unseen, and it was so interesting because I'd never been to Colorado Springs. And when I moved here, I felt like the synchronicities coming in. The area code was 719. That's my parents' anniversary. Aww. And then I found a church that I go to, Sacred Heart. And I ended up doing a missionary work affiliated with it in Arizona in 2006. That was with the Holy Cross Priest. So I'm like, what are the chances?
That's wonderful.
So I really knew, like,
they're a great congregation.
Yeah, they're really nice. And I really just felt like this was where I was supposed to go. And, you know, like just it's starting all over. And then 3 weeks after I moved out here, unfortunately, my oldest sister got sick and she was diagnosed with brain cancer. So it's been very tumultuous, but at the same time, I've been like kind of discerning, like coming out here and then her getting sick. And then like on New Year's Eve, she had a couple of seizures. So it's been really
Where is she at?
She's there in New Jersey. My family's in New Jersey, but I got to go home twice to visit her. And even amidst that storm, I still trust that like everything is happening according to plan. So I'm just open to the guidance and the flow, and just meeting people and doing what I can to help them gives me purpose and fulfillment in my own life.
That's incredible. Well, welcome to Colorado
Thank
Springs.
You.
This is one of the best cities to live in, I feel. I've moved a lot in my life as well, so welcome.
Oh, thank you, Lisa.
All right. So now comes the moment where we're going to do a little deep dive. So, of course, back to you, Jean. So, looking back in the last 6 months, what has been the biggest hurdle for you, and how did you overcome it?
Probably the biggest hurdle has really been taking on too much. Just because I do say yes to every opportunity, and so that started turning into overloading my calendar and my schedule, and how do I fit all of this stuff in? And I managed to do it, and I don't do it all on my own, which is, I'm very grateful that I do have these great connections with other women. My daughter's a big help. My partner Jamie, she's really, really good at helping me with all these business things, and we've been writing. So she takes a lot of stuff off my plate too, but she's also very busy. So I've had to learn to start saying no to some opportunities.
There are healthy no's out there.
Yes.
And there's ways to say no without saying the word no.
Well, what I started learning was everything is an opportunity, and it's the ones that we choose. And so I started realizing that some things I could say no to, that some things were more important for me right now. And sometimes that's even family time. Because I was having a conversation the other day where somebody asked me that, like, so I want to say yes to opportunities. You're inspiring me to do so. However, I have a 2-year-old, and I can't always do that. And I'm like, well, sometimes that's your opportunity, and that's your better opportunity, is to spend those moments and making memories with your family. Absolutely. So I started realizing that I couldn't say yes to every opportunity. After a while, I had to start picking which ones were going to turn into something that was important and beneficial to me personally. and sometimes you have to take care of you first.
That's
and so
right.
that's something that's really hard for me because I'm used to taking on other people's stuff a lot. I don't like to disappoint people. I don't like disappointing people, and so it's really hard for me to say, no, I can't do that. No, I'm not going to show up to that because I have these other things to do, and I usually try to make it work. And I'm like, okay, if I go to this first, maybe I can go to this, and maybe I can meet this person later. But I was stressing myself out.
Yeah.
And I was realizing that you just can't always do that.
You can't.
It was hard. It's
Good
been a
for
hard.
you, but early on, that you're learning this
Yeah.
early on. So in the business, that's
Well,
amazing.
it's stressful because you're already stressing yourself out when you start a business.
Oh, totally.
So when you take on additional stress that you don't necessarily need to, learning to figure out what those things are, that's been probably the most challenging for me, but I'm getting better at it.
So how's it been? Tell everyone what you do, first of all, because you have your hands in a lot of pots.
Yeah.
So explain to all of our listeners what do you do?
So I introduced myself now as the Misfit Entrepreneur for that reason, because I decided a year and a half ago that I wanted to start a business creating unique events in the community, because that was something that was really special to me growing up. And I like things to be affordable for people. Mm-hmm. And so when I thought about how I was going to do that, I realized what inspired me to do that was my women connections, because I celebrate mother-daughter dates with my daughter on Monday. So it's funny because you have this show on Monday, and it's like perfect because people hate Monday. But I find ways to celebrate.
I look forward to Monday.
I celebrate
because
Monday.
of the
It's
show.
weird. I don't know why, but for me, I make Mondays. I always say I make mundane things like Mondays magical, because you can make anything better.
Yes.
And celebrate it if you want to. So like even my coffee in the morning, I'm like really excited to get up and drink that in the morning because it's a special experience for me. But my connections with my daughter, I'm very close with my mother. My sisters were just here. I actually do have 4 sisters, but very close with my family, and then my girlfriends and the fun that we make, the trips we go on, things like that. I realized it was those things that made me want to do this and create this special place for people to come and say yes to opportunities, but also to support small business, because that's always been a passion of mine as well. I knew some small business owners. And so I wanted to do something in the community that would support them as well. And so what's funny is, so I started networking because I wanted to build my connections. I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to start a business. I know how I've always entertained. I've always had a passion for hosting for family and friends. So I know how to do that, know how to throw a party, but I didn't know how to start a business. So I decided I was going to start networking, and I immediately felt like I didn't belong. I felt like a misfit. I felt like I was out of place. I didn't have a brick and mortar business. And I continually went, though. I continually pushed myself to go. I made amazing friends and connections, and you were actually one of the first people that I connected with last year.
Yes.
At an event.
Yeah,
at your house,
house.
actually.
I was in the midst of pulling women out of their homes doing all these ladies events, and that was my Ladies Who Cook event. Yeah.
And somebody invited me to that, and I didn't know you, but I had heard of you, and I was like, well, I haven't met Lisa Sinnott yet, so I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna dive right in and go to her house. So I did, and we chatted and stuff, and that was really, really early in the beginning of all these things that I was doing. And so I got more comfortable doing those things because I kept going, and I'm a people person, so I kept going and I kept making these connections. But then I was like, man, somebody needs to come up with a networking group for misfit entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
But I kept saying that everywhere I went, and people are like, ooh, what's a misfit entrepreneur? And I'm like, well, like me, someone that doesn't fit in, doesn't have an actual business yet. I have a day job still, so I can't do traditional networking during the day. But I can attend evening mixers. Mm-hmm. And so I kept saying that, and people really loved the idea. And so somebody finally said to me, not someone, you. And I was like, no, I can't do that. I'm too scared. I'm too scared to talk to people. I can't make a speech. I'm terrified. Could never do it. But then I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? It is my idea.
Yeah.
And who better to show other people how to do this than somebody else who's scared to do it.
Exactly.
So I created Misfit Networking, wished for a woman-owned business. In fact, I wished for a woman-owned business, and 5 minutes later or less, it was really fast. Charlene, actually, from Apricot Lane Boutique, had messaged me on my social media and was like, I'm a woman-owned business that supports other women-owned businesses. I'm intrigued by your name.
Oh, awesome,
Everyday Girl
Charlie.
Adventures was the name, or is the name of my business. And she's like, would you like to have a pop-up in my boutique? And I was like, wow, I wished for this and it happened.
That's
and so,
fabulous.
So I went and I met her later that day and told her my vision and all
Yeah.
these big dreams that I had. And she let me do it. We planned a couple of events that I had in my head that I wanted to do. Well, we launched Misfit Networking in September of last year. We just celebrated 1 year this September at the boutique, and we had a great big party, and that's where I met Karen too. And she came feeling like a misfit, but so then because I started doing that and I was doing all these women things, the last time I was here, I was about to open my event space.
Mhm.
So I have an event space in Old Colorado City that we do a lot of baby showers, bridal events.
So you had a sweet
Last
16.
night we had another sweet 16, and I
That
got to
looked
go.
fun.
I don't usually get to go, and I'm always like, man, I wish I knew what was
Yes.
going on because I just let them in and then I
Yeah.
come in and lock up afterwards. But when I have a 360 slow motion photo booth.
Yeah.
So when they do that add-on, I get to go
Yeah.
because I have to run the photo booth,
Yeah.
and so I get to be there. And they're always so sweet, these families. And I'm like, this is why I'm doing this
Yeah.
because providing an affordable location that's effortless. So it's always decorated. It's always event ready. I have extra tables and chairs for people that, want extra seating. But they come in and they're like, wow, I don't even have to bring any decorations or anything. And I'm like, well, that's why I did this, because I wanted it to be affordable and effortless for people's special memories. And so that's going really well. That's been picking up.
Good.
So
and then your new platform. Sorry, we're running out of time.
No, I'm sorry. I'm a talker,
I
so
know.
I'll wrap it up. So then on top of that, I wrote a book this year, and it was a collection of women's stories called Everyday Girl Adventures.
And where can people get that book?
They can get that on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, at Apricot Lane Boutique.
Oh,
She sells
awesome.
it. It's also at Port Richards Bookstore, or they can buy it for me personally.
Yeah.
And I'll sign up for them.
Yeah.
But we created a publishing platform because we started from the ground up, and publishing can be expensive. So I wanted to show people the way and show that there are affordable options out there. Mm-hmm. And so we do that as well. And
I understand there's a speaking platform in your future that you're wanting to.
Apparently. So it's funny because I didn't think I was ever in a million years going to get up and make speeches in front of people. But I've been practicing a little bit with my Misfit Networking when I do introductions every month.
Yeah.
And so I got invited to present at an engagement last week, and I was like, I was terrified. But I have a really good story, and I made it really fun about how to find your superpowers as an ordinary, everyday person.
Yes.
And all the steps of how I did that and how I have this adventure mentality to do so. So I did it. I got up there and I made a 20-minute presentation in front of an audience, and it was exhilarating. And so, I hope I'm able to do that more. And
congratulations.
Thank you.
That takes so much courage.
It was a milestone for me.
From where you've come, I mean, just in a year, that's fabulous.
So I'll wrap it up because I know we want to move on, but I also just bought a salon, and I branded it Local Legends Salon and Spa because I have a passion for community and legends in the community, the small business owners. So I'm going to be doing a Self-Care Sunday series every month.
Oh, good.
The first one is going to be on, and I have flyers for you so you can see when my upcoming events are.
And you can post it also in the notes on our live feed.
Yeah, so we're going to do a vendor series, a Galentine's event on February 11th at the Salon and Spa. That's on Academy and North Carefree. It's called Local Legends Salon and Spa. And I'm also doing a fashion show this year for Women's History Month called Celebrate Her.
Ooh.
So we're going to bring diverse women together, fashion show featuring Apricot Lane Boutique. And we're going to do some really fun things this year. So
Thank you, Miss Charlene.
Yeah, let me just say, in the year that I've known her, that I invited her from the very first time to today, there's just been, two different
She's
people.
a brand new woman.
Yeah, it's two different people.
It's
She's
amazing.
grown so much.
But it's you stepping out day to day to day, right? Out of your comfort zone and saying yes to the opportunities and the challenges. Who was the person who told you, well, it's you need to do this for the Everyday Girl Adventures?
Funny enough, it was Flip Aguilera.
Ah, go Flip. Love you, Flip.
It was at Nerd Night.
Oh, guys, we gotta hurry. Okay, I just got my time. Okay, so tell us, what was the biggest hurdle within the last 6 months that you've had to overcome, and how did you do it?
As a small business owner, there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a ton.
Pick one.
I can't. There's so many, but let me just say that a huge hurdle is getting to the 2-year mark. In a couple of weeks, we're going to be open 2 years. And I know so many boutiques, so many small businesses that have closed because it's not a good economy.
No, it's not.
And it's either buy the gas or buy the cute little dress.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that is a hurdle. For a while, we thought we were going to close because people weren't coming in.
Yeah.
And it breaks my heart because I love to support other women. I know how hard it is coming up. So I want to lend that hand.
Yes.
I want to be there when they start off,
Right.
I want to help, and having the possibility of maybe closing.
So what do you think brought the people in?
It wasn't that. It was we sold one of our houses and then paid off all the debt.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. So then we have a fresh start now. But more than anything, it's an opportunity to meet wonderful people that come through the door. It is. People come in, and it is an experience to come into the door and shop with us because you don't leave the store the same way you came in.
Have you been there?
I've not been
You
there
have to
yet.
go. It's
I
a
need to go
personalized
visit,
shopping experience.
Is it?
I can attest
Okay.
to that.
To go.
You leave
She'll
knowing
give you
that you're loved, that you now have friends, and that you're welcome back
Oh,
anytime.
I love that.
And I think that is the hugest hurdle that we as small business owners were able to go past because I love working with people.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
I don't want to take up more time.
No, thank you.
Okay, great.
Okay, Miss Nikki, I'm sure there's been some hurdles, right?
Oh, yes.
So just pick one that you've had to overcome, and how did you do it?
I would say the theme of my life the last year and a half has been get comfortable being uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And actually a good friend of mine who's a nurse practitioner, she owns a med spa in Florida. She told me that when I was thinking about doing the Skin Click. And I was like, but I just switched. I'm like learning all these new things with my full-time job. I love aesthetics. I love skincare. I want people to feel as beautiful as they can. But it's a whole, like, I have a 2-year-old. How am I going to do all this? And she said, just get comfortable being uncomfortable. And so I just keep telling myself that.
That's great.
And it's led to a second job that I love so much. My husband has been super supportive because I'm learning so many skills at my full-time job because I do a lot of procedures there. And then I'm continuously learning. This company pushes nonstop education, which is wonderful. But it takes time. It takes a lot of mental effort. And I try my best to do it when my daughter is asleep or at daycare so that I'm focused on
Peace
her.
in the house.
So that's uncomfortable sometimes, right? Because it's maybe not at the time of day that I want to do it, or it's during my 15-minute lunch break at work while I'm shoving stuff in my mouth.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would say that's just been the theme of my life.
But that's awesome perseverance.
Thanks.
Amazing.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Miss Karen.
Okay, so the last 6 months, it definitely has been challenging. You know, I came from a business that I opened in 2009, so it was self-supporting. I never networked. I just built it organically, and coming here, it's been tough. I don't really know anyone. It's a big area. I think with me, it was like a mindset shift and stepping out into the unknown and trusting that there is a benevolent source beyond me. Like, things are coming in, and just keeping my mindset positive and not going to the negative, and like saying yes to things, being okay with being uncomfortable and stepping out into the unknown, understanding like that it's going to be different, but things are creating and opportunities are coming, and also waiting for divine timing, because sometimes we wait and get that clarity, and leaning on my tools that I teach my coaching clients, like meditation, breath work, body movement, prayer, and just staying in gratitude, pulling in gratitude every day for what I do have, and just seeing how it just opens up to more things.
I love that.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so real quick, we're at the close here. Quick time check. Okay, so tell us a little bit. This is your moment. We have 45,000 listeners. Our reach is growing. You need to encourage them and infuse hope today, and then share a little bit about how to contact you for your services.
Well, I do events throughout the month. I have a social club with my Everyday Girl Adventures business, and I do events throughout the month, and I do Misfit networking events where I showcase women-owned businesses all over town. The next one is actually on January 29th at Hand and Stone Spa Southgate. That one's actually open to men to come to because it's owned by a woman and a man. So we'll do a co-ed one every once in a while. And so guys get to come to that one too. But we
How do they reach you?
So how they reach me is through my social media, mainly Everyday Girl Adventures on Facebook, Instagram, everydaygirladventures.com, or the Misfit Networking Group on Facebook as well.
Awesome. Encourage our listeners real quick.
Wow, that's really putting me on the spot. You never know what you can do until you do it. And it's really hard to do sometimes, but when you find those moments where you can push yourself to do something and say yes to an opportunity and just believe in yourself a little bit, you will be surprised at what you can accomplish.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Your turn.
You can find me through Facebook and Instagram. I am off Bass Pro Drive, Apricot Lane Boutique. We're having a huge celebration on the 20th. Everyone's invited. We're going to have sip and shop, champagne and mimosas, and the whole store is going to be 50% off. Everything.
Be sure to put everything in the comments to that event.
And to encourage you, I would say make a friend or be a friend, and don't go through life alone.
That's wonderful. I love that. That's so big. All right, Miss Nikki, let's encourage the world here.
I'm going to go back to what I just said before. Get comfortable being uncomfortable and surround yourself with people who support you and believe in you. Those are the biggest things that have helped me make all of these changes I've made the last year.
And if they don't support you,
bye.
Walk away. That takes a lot of strength sometimes.
It does, and I think that's something that you just learn with time and mistakes, that it's just not worth your time. I was not a people pleaser, but I don't like burnt bridges. It's just something that like weighs heavily on me. So for a long time that guided a lot of relationships that I held on to, and I finally was like, those just need to burn.
Yeah.
And it's been better that way. So to find me, so if anyone, what I do, because I didn't even really talk about it. We talked about so many fun things. Concierge aesthetics. So I come to your house or place of work for medical grade skincare and neurotoxin injections. Most people know that as Botox, but we have other brands. We also do events, which I've done with Jean. My Instagram is probably the best way. It's at NikkiBodine_NP. I actually have 2 events coming up, one with Jean at Self Care Sunday, February 11th, and then I'm also doing one at Bloom Ultra Lounge downtown here. It's Valentine's Day themed on February 7th.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. You can reach me at Coaching with Karen, and Karen is spelled CARRIN.com. I do therapeutic massage and I do the coaching. I also have a podcast series called Living with Integrity. You can find that on any platform where they have podcasts available. I am located on the west side, right by in Rialto Heights. And also, I just want to say, like, to people, to never give up hope. You're always one step away from a new breakthrough. I mean, your past doesn't define you, and to just always keep trying, because you're always on the opposite side of fear is fulfillment. So thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Karen. That's great. Okay, so as we wrap up, let's highlight our sponsors once more. Crescio, our friend Joshua Aguirre is passionate about uplifting the Southeast. When you partner with his company, you will learn how to automate your sales funnel using tools like ChatGPT. Visit Crescio.com to learn more. And of course, Westco Insurance, Miss Karen Butcher. Whoop, whoop. We love her. She's amazing. Karen loves helping people save and get the best service ever. Our mission, again, Frank Sinclair and I, is to extend hope and encouragement and help people realize their potential through networking, collaboration, and community involvement. Help us further our mission to help others. Visit our website at beencouraged.net to become a sponsor and get your business name out there to our growing audience. Again, we're at 45,000 reach and growing each week. And real quick, again, my business karaoke networking evening is a Connect very casual event at Buzzed Crow the third Thursday of this month of January on the 18th from 6 p.m. to 8:30. I would love to see you there. It's free. I don't sing. You can sing for me. We'll be good. So please come as my guest. Thank you everyone for listening. Love you all. Have an amazing week. Thanks.
Thank you.